James Island is situated 30 kilometers from the mouth of the River Gambia near Jufure. It is an important historical site and played an integral role in the slave trade. It draws thousands of visitors from the diaspora who troop to the little island to remember the most inhuman trade in human cargo ever recorded in human history. The island is, however, threatened with erosion, which continues to encroach on what remains of it. The baobab trees which line the island's source are slowly falling prey to the ferocious waves, whilst buildings dating back centuries are collapsing under constant pressure from the sea. This prompted concerned individuals to organize a one-day work party to plant hundreds of mangrove trees to help protect and preserve the island. Staff of the National Council for Arts and Culture, community members, Peace Corps volunteers, and U.S. Embassy staff were among dozens of people who embarked on the massive tree planting exercise. Speaking on the occasion, Kausu Damfa, a Peace Corps volunteer who conceived the idea, said the exercise is the second such venture to be embarked upon by volunteers to protect the island from erosion. He described the work as inexpensive and added that it has the potential to effectively stabilize the banks of the island and give it a root structure that will help preserve the cultural resources on the island. Mangroves, according to Kausu, will help achieve this noble objective.
This is a red species of mangrove, which was on the island before it was inhabited by Europeans in the 1600s. And we're also today planting the succulents, a type of native grass to the island, just to keep the soil from washing away.
Okay, what are the advantages or the importance of these mangroves compared to other trees like other trees?
Well, the mangroves are salt tolerant, so they can stay in the water, and they won't be carried away. Whereas if you were to plant, say, a baobab or a mango or a cashew, if you plant it in the river, then it would just die because the water is salty.
The country director of Peace Corps, the Gambia, Mike McConnell, hailed the collaboration between the Peace Corps volunteers and the communities in working towards protecting this important historical site in the Gambia. Peace Corps volunteers, according to McConnell, can help mobilize communities to work together in sustainable ventures, and the tree planting exercise, he added, symbolizes Peace Corps' resolve in achieving such a dream. The perils of nature, he said, can be reversed by using natural things like mangroves to save the island structures. This he described as cost-effective and sustainable. The Peace Corps country director explained to GRTS how the idea came about.
Well, we have an environment volunteer, Chris Honeycutt, whose Gambian name is Kaufa, and he is working with the National Environment Association. They brought him here. They educated him to the problem. And so he started thinking and talking with other Gambians about what could be done. And they came up with two ideas. One was plant special grasses on the other part of the island that will hold the soil in the rain. And the second is to plant mangroves in the upper part of the island to keep where the river is coming down and washing it away.
The Assistant Director for Research and Documentation at the National Council for Arts and Culture, Bakari Sanyang, recounted the historical significance of James Island as a transit center during the Atlantic slave trade and its eventual role as a vanguard during the abolition of the ignominious trade. Presently, James Island plays an important role in the tourism sector, for it attracts lots of tourists and visitors from Europe and the United States. This, science said, makes it all the more necessary to preserve and protect it from extinction.
James Island stands out as one of the paragon of beauty among our historical sites. This is due largely to the fact of its historical significance. More tourists give attention to James Island by virtue of its role. So that is why it is very, very important, and it is also contributing a great deal to our economic development, most particularly through tourism.
Sanyang expressed the National Council for Arts and Culture's strong resolve to work towards preserving all historical sites in the country, describing them as the pride of our nation. He thanked the Peace Corps volunteers for the initiative and urged other institutions, organizations, and individuals to emulate them. These mangroves, when fully matured, will make a big difference in transforming the landscape of the island besides protecting its coastline. Until then, James Island, or what remains of it, will continue to endure torrents of waves which are slowly effacing a once notorious island where millions of Africans were shipped off into the New World as slaves. Mamadou Jallow, reporting from James Island for GRTS.